Alrighty, let's get started. Hopefully no one comes and interrupts me, but they will. So you might see some blips of edits when my kids come and trip over shit and my wife screams in my name and stands there and has a conversation with me while I'm doing it. So let's show you the unit. This is it. Comes pretty naked. A couple clamps hold the pumps in. The venturi is already assembled and assembled correctly. I've gotten different manufacturers in the past, or it's upside down, which really screwed with me for a while. A couple pumps, looks like one pump already wired, and nothing else. The level sensor is already wired. So I guess that means one wire from you can just hook those up from the old bulkhead unit once you figure out which ones are which. Temp I'll have to wire in, which makes sense because the whole sensor is in here. And then I'll obviously have to switch these out because I'm using AN fittings. Well, the crossover can stay, but the return is going to be a 6 AN and the pump's going to be an 8 AN. I have those in case they weren't included. Funny little hoses. I don't know what kind of clamps they have. I actually have a squeeze clamper. I only have my fittings are too big for that. Alright, so we got the unit. Set that down. Comes in the bag. A couple hoses. Filter socks, which I'm glad were in there because that was an uncertain item. It says you needed them, but it never said anything about where to get them, what they were, how to order them, or if they're included. Got another pump connector, nice. Postcard. A couple more stickers. Lots of stickers come with this. A 6 AN fitting, that'll be nice for the return. An 8 AN fitting, that would be nice for the feed. What looks like a 5/16 hose fitting. Probably won't use that. Some put together connectors for things. That one looks like it fits that one. That's for the temperature sender. I don't know. There's some fittings and nuts to hold the unit in. That's nice because the stock ones are all rusty. Heat shrink, wire connectors, basically all your electrical and mounting nuts in there. Another quick connect fitting. Swivel fitting. Hose clamps for fittings, and it's like 4 hose clamps, so you would think you would need 6. Maybe there's an extra hose in case you screw it up. Alright, and some zip ties for the cables. And that's that. So I guess there's no instructions. I'm sure you can download the instructions. I'm just gonna wing it because that's how we roll. First things first, I'm going to loosen these clamps. put these on, use them to orient the pumps. So I'll show you that a little closer. Take that out. So this goes on there. Push it on, nice and good, all the way. This is a big deal. You don't want this thing falling off in your pump. Little ring. Kind of see it's like a bowl-ish. The bottom of the bowl goes down. There's like a flat side. This you probably can't see this at all, but it's like a bowl or like a plate, shallow plate. So kind of
see that at all? Just push it on there. I don't really know how to plan on putting this in there. Yeah. Maybe I should read the directions. What I'm gonna do is put that in really lightly. Slide the other pump in.
I'm going to have to stop, and I'm going to have to look on the Radium website and see what the orientation of these is. And I'm going to print out the directions and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Got the instructions. 7 pages, color, lots of pictures. For proper fitment, the pump cylinder should be folded as shown. So he's got to fold them down like this, okay? So we're going to fold them down, even though they don't really fold. I'll go ahead and put the fuel line on now. Well, this ain't the most conventional way of putting stuff together, but I mean, this is how we all do it. So, this is how I'm showing you. Going back in. Fold these like it said. Tuck them in there. And that feels okay. Alright, those are the pumps in and clamped. Now I gotta decide which one's pump 1. Doesn't matter because you feed pump 1 to this thing up here. There's already a fitting in there, which now I understand what this fitting is for. Is for when you run 2 pumps, you take out this plug, you put in that fitting. Well, this one, pump 1. Forget your hose clamp. Once you put that hose on, it ain't coming back off. Alright, that's that. I'm going to tighten that to where it severs it. Then now that we put this pump on the pump 1 thing, we got to put this plug on the pump 1 plug. Position, things look good, everything looks good. Push that together. Push it. Really push it together. Okay, that's that. Got that go out there. Now what I'm going to do is the same thing for pump 2. I'm going to take out this plug. I'm going to keep that plug because that looks like a 6AN ORB. And that's what a lot of the fuel pressure regulators, if you're not running parallel lines, use that as a plug. Here's the barbed fitting that will go into here. That's tight enough. It's the way this other one's positioned, I can't tighten it anymore. And it's against the base, so it's good. Hose clamp. I want the hose. I want the wire between the hoses or not. I'm going to say not. Is pump 2, hose 1. Now I gotta hook up the number 2. Pump 2 is back here. Power. Ground. Put them on the inside. Don't put them out like this. When you go to put this in, it'll pinch the wires. So it has to be like this.
Pretty snug. It's number 2. There's the pump. Number 2.
So what we got left? Temp sensor. Gotta get the temp sensor off of here. I don't know what pumps they always have. This is the 3rd pump I've had that has had this extra sensor. No one ever mentions it. No one ever includes how to wire it. Nobody even knows what the hell it is. But it's common. It's definitely the low level light. So how do I wire that in with, because here's the lead for the sender and it just goes to the ground. So I can cut that and that. Even though it'll make me short on wire, I'll have to extend that wire. Thing. But what about my light? It goes onto its own thing, which it doesn't even have a lead for. So I guess I'm just not using it this time. These freaking wires suck. Wire cutters. None of my wire cutters work. I don't even know if my phone's got enough memory to record all this. Still going. Still going. 46 minutes. Jesus. Fuel level. slide them little guys in there until they go click. Alright, that's that. You can't put this on until this whole thing is in the tank, which is so fun. Say you gotta have 2 people, but I've done it with just me. It's not a good time. Alright, now we'll do the temp sensor, which I'm pretty sure I'll even end up wiring to the ECU, but it'll be there.
I'm gonna fold this wire over. Put it in here. This is how I like it.
It's here, temp, positive, negative. I don't know why they do that to you. Doesn't matter. It's nice of them to put a positive and negative on there, just confuse the shit out of you. These lock nuts work. There's the weird funny look inside that goes on the top. Without. Alright guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Basically, what happens next is that this is done. This is together. Should I lie? Do one more thing. We'll just one hook these. This is the outlet. I asked, well, there's 2 pumps, why is the only one outlet? Well, they both connect in here. And this setup actually will use what's called a Hobbs switch. It'll run 1 pump. I'm thinking, because what iWire suggested is running the 1 pump off the factory fuel pump controller, which shouldn't be too big of a deal. He says it'll work. I trust him. So I'll run the 1 pump off the factory fuel pump controller. That'll let it run, you know, partial fuel duty when it's idling and stuff like that, which will be real fun to, you know, dial in the fuel pressure. So, and then the second pump will kick on once it's in boost, say 10 psi. That'll kick on the second pump. By then the first pump will already be at 100% because I'll have it set to go to 100% at, say, you know, -5 psi or somewhere in there, wherever it's recommended. And then, so basically it will be 3 stages. It'll be idle, cruise stage where the pump's not running full capacity. Pump 1 full capacity. And then pump 2 full capacity. And that'll just be for full boost. Because a 450, I know on 6-AN lines, is only going to handle about 500 wheel horsepower. The goal here is 600. And on 8-AN lines, it should be more than adequate to do it. Tighten these up. Don't gotta be real tight. These are O-ring bosses, remember. Just tight enough not to fall back out. The O-ring does all the sealing here. Just in there. And a little snug. And then this return we're gonna change. Now, we're gonna run this 6-AN as a return. And there it is. This, like I said, goes to this, but this can't go on. It goes on these 2 screws here. But you can't put it on until you're in the tank. Basically, the edge of the tank is right here. You put this in, then you snake this in, and you pull it up. This, and then you bolt that together. I'll do an adder to the video when I do that. Well, actually, I guess we can zip tie these up. I get this as low as you can. It's a temp sensor, and at this point, it's only going to be in the fuel at half tank, but I'm going to put it. Put it here somewhere. I don't know. I'll get it in there. I'm going to tighten this up, clean these wires. Like I said, this one goes to the sending unit, and that doesn't go in until the tank's in. These go in here, along with the rest of them, and you hook the wires up. That's a whole nother tutorial. Finding out which wire and the factory bulkhead connector is what. I just don't want to lose these little guys. I get 2 extras. Look at that, 2 extras. There it is, it's assembled. Just gotta clean the zip ties, but this video is long enough. I'll do that. Everyone kind of just tuck it in there, zip tie, done. Alright, part 2. I'm going to try and show you, I mean, this ain't a great angle, but I need room to work, so you just have to live with it. The stock hanger, now this is crossover tube, so it stays, it'll hook up to the hanger actually when I'm done. Just kind of put that out of the way for now. Stock hanger comes out. Obviously this one's not loaded. Get the gasket off the old one. Now it looks like the radium unit still uses has little holes for the gasket. Let's get in here. Show you a little better. Get in the car. Alright. Oh. Basically, these little nipples in the factory gasket. There's little holes in it for this one. For it. So, nice and clean to set that on. Hole up in there. Little thingies up in there, little locators. Look at that. It's a nice piece. Yeah. Now here's the fun part. Remember the sending unit? It bolts onto the back of this. And it doesn't fit in this tiny little hole bolted in. So what you gotta do is put this in. Then you gotta put this in. Okay, like that. And then you bolt it on. Do not drop the screw into the gas tank. I'll try to rotate it, but you can kind of see how it's in there. It's like I can't get this back out now. Not without unbolting this sending unit. Now the reason it looks so easy is because I've done this before. Tighten that up. Snake this through here. Plug this in. And that is that. And that's in. Screws, but I'm going to get new screws. These ones are, not that you'll ever even see it, but I'm going to put them on for now, just to keep the dirt and stuff out of the tank. But that's it. And this crossover line, because it's such a low, all it does is pull fuel, because the fuel tank has a hump in the middle. This crossover one goes through the venturi pump and takes fuel, sucks it from this other side, which there's a sensor in there, and then pulls it in and dumps it on this side where the pumps are at. That's how that works on rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive fuel tanks that have the hump in the middle. That's it. Now I can start building some fuel lines.